Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. We are back with a reaction for King and Country, God Only Knows, and this was recommended in the comments because of September is the prevention month, for taking their own life. I don't want to say the word here, the S word, because YouTube is really weird about that for some reason. How are we supposed to talk and spread awareness about this topic if if you say it, you know, your video gets shadow banned or whatever, limited. It's a weird thing. But I did want to explore this song because I know people, family members who have taken their own lives, friends. I went through a dark period myself. So this is very, very, very important. I don't know if it's specifically about that. It could be just about loss in general. I don't know. Or about mental health. But those are all very important things. And I also want to shine a light on that, even on this channel. Even though it's only a reaction, it's still important to do so. You never know who's watching and who needs it. So let's jump in. Thank you for recommending this, by the way.
Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. And every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories, they somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. You keep a cover over.
Wow. Sorry for the pause, but I need to get out some thoughts or I'll forget at the end. Sounds amazing. Amazing vocals. Love the music. They were on a bridge too, which also triggered a memory for me. Yeah, man. Why do the opening line is already, if you've gone through mental health problems, even just everybody has it, a little bit of anxiety while, laying awake at night, the world is asleep and, just stressing about the world. But in the case of depression or addiction, you're scared to close your eyes. I've been there because you're afraid of what you will see. Yeah, I understand that. Wow. Nobody sees you. Another heartbreaking line. If you feel like you're not a part of this world. And yeah, it's like you feel always like you're on the outside looking in. And you try and try and try, and it doesn't go away. And I love that God only knows, and the different sentences they use, because it's an expression like God only knows what you've been through. Like nobody knows really but God. It's like the double mean. People here in Belgium, they also say in Dutch, God mag het weten, which God can know it or may know it. Like nobody knows, only Him. Yeah, we have that saying here too, in a similar way. Yeah, we never know what people go through, and that's why I always try to approach anything with an open mind and with a little bit of empathy, because you don't know, you just don't know what's behind those eyes and what they've had to endure. So a little bit of kindness can go a long way. And that bridge thing, sorry for to go on so long, but this is important. That bridge thing, I was watching a show the other day, a Belgian show, but it's actually a person who, a Belgian host, TV host that's going to America and, goes through different states. And he was in San Francisco at the Golden Gate Bridge. And I've seen, and they put up nets because this woman, her son jumped off at the Golden Gate Bridge. And then a lot of people, if you want to take your own life, there's a few ways you can do it, right? And jumping off bridges is one of them. Unfortunately, it's terrible. But she said, and I was like, yeah, we put up a net. The instinct that comes is like, yeah, but they're gonna do it somewhere else, or they're gonna do anything else, and that's the first human instinct reaction you have in seeing that. And then she explained it a little bit, like you have only 4 seconds when you jump, and if you change your mind in those 4 seconds, it's too late. And I've wondered about this in my own family. Somebody took pills, and and there was regret, but it was too late. That's a final decision. You can't take it back. And she said that 4 seconds. So even if they want to go somewhere else, at least it's more time to think about. You never know that they might change their mind. Just a little bit more time. And it hit me like, wow, yeah, that is amazing. Even if they go somewhere else or try a different way, at least they have that bit more time. Maybe they will change their mind. Because a lot of survivors, they do say, like, when I let that handle go at the bridge, or when I took this, I regretted it. And I understand that because I went through an own dark period where I thought I didn't want to wake up. And then the only thing I wanted to do when I was close to the end, or thought I was close to the end, was being alive. Wow. Sorry for going on for that long, but we're going to let it play now. We're going to let it play.
You keep a cover over every single secret. So afraid if someone saw them they would leave. But somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. Ashamed, the misunderstood, and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. Oh, for the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood, and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows where to find you. God only knows how to break through. God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about listening and communication, and then when you get down to that point, it's you're convinced of your own decision almost, and it's not reaching out, and a shame is a big part of that. And they do a real great job here in this song of displaying that, because the thoughts that keep repeating, God only knows what you've been through, you are repeating that to yourself, the things you've been through, which is not always productive. And then you're imagining what people say about you, and that adds to shame. There's a big taboo, like I said in the beginning of this video. It's the censorship. It's like, how can we bring awareness to a topic if you're going to limit exposure to certain words that are being said? I get it. It's sensitive. It's a hard topic, and I know why, certain situation, should not be exposed too much, but dang. How are you ever going to talk about it if you can't talk about it? If you have a wound, you have to open it up sometimes and clean it. It's nasty sometimes, but that's how you dig in and get to the root cause of these issues. It's a tough one. Because like I said, I know people that are not here anymore, and I bet some of them, if they could, they would reverse their decision. And it's a beautiful thing how they show that at the end. And then, if I could only, start over. If I could only start over. Great song, man. And it's a tough one. It hits hard, but it's an important one. And they made it sound good too. They made it sound good, which even makes it more of an impact when they do that. Because it sticks with you. It makes an impact. Great song. Thank you for recommending it. Thank you for being here. And I'm sure there's plenty other things I could say regarding this topic. I have in other songs. I've done a few songs that cover this topic and mental health, and it's very near and dear to my heart, this subject. So once in a while, I will, look for songs that cover this. But I got to be honest, it's not something I could do every day. It's not something I could do every day. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Reach out if you are struggling. There's this number. This is an American number. I guess that every country has their own number. Belgium, where I am, has its own number. These days, it's not easy. It's not difficult to find. It's just the step to take to call that number or to message somebody. That's the biggest hurdle to get over, but it's a smaller hurdle to get over than getting back from that final decision, because it's not possible. It's not possible. Peace.